The ties that hold us. A story about love, forgiveness, and finding home in each other. The distance that grew slowly. There was a time when laughter filled every corner of their house. The clinking of coffee mugs in the morning, the echo of footsteps rushing to school, the sound of a piano from the next room, small things that made life soft. But lately, the silence had become louder. Jamie sat by the window most evenings, scrolling through messages he didn't want to answer. Amelia worked longer hours in her studio, headphones on, chasing melodies that felt too far away. Their daughters noticed it too. Dinners became shorter, bedtime stories unfinished. It wasn't a fight that separated them, it was fatigue. Life had slowly built a wall between two people who once promised to never lose sight of each other. Until one night, Dulcie, their eldest, slipped a note under their bedroom door. It said simply, "Can we have one weekend where everyone smiles again?" Amelia found it in the morning and cried quietly. Jamie found her sitting at the kitchen table, holding the note like it was made of glass. "She's right," Amelia whispered. "We need to stop being ghosts in our own house." "Then let's do something," Jamie replied softly. "Let's go find us again." The journey begins. They didn't plan a luxury trip or a grand escape, just a drive to the countryside, far from London's noise. No phones, no schedules, just a car packed with laughter and mismatched snacks. The girls fought over the music, Amelia sang off key, and Jamie pretended to be annoyed. But something changed somewhere between the fields and the first mountain view. The laughter came back, awkward at first, then natural. When they arrived at a small cottage by a lake, it felt like stepping out of time. The air smelled like pine and rain. Ducks floated lazily across the water. Inside, everything was simple: wooden floors, soft lamps, and a fireplace that waited patiently to be lit. "No Wi-Fi?" Dulcie gasped. "Exactly," Jamie smiled. "We're going old school." The girls rolled their eyes but secretly smiled. For the first time in months, no one looked at a screen. The fire. That night, they made a fire together. Jamie taught the girls how to stack logs, like a Jenga tower that won't fall. Amelia roasted marshmallows until they burned, laughing when Alberta accidentally dropped hers into the flames. As the fire crackled, Jamie reached for Amelia's hand. It had been months since he'd done that. She didn't pull away. "Do you ever think we forgot how to just be?" he asked. "I think we got busy surviving," she said. "But maybe now we can remember living." The fire popped, sparks lifting into the cold night air. Their daughters huddled under blankets, whispering secrets and giggling. It wasn't a perfect night, but it was honest. The morning light. They woke up to sunlight spilling across the floor. Jamie brewed coffee while Amelia cooked pancakes, humming softly. The girls ran barefoot across the grass outside, chasing each other with wild joy. There was a peace that didn't need explanation. Amelia looked at Jamie and smiled. "I've missed this," she said. "Me too," he admitted. "And I don't want to lose it again." They decided to make that day about connection, small, real moments. They went hiking together, stopped to feed swans, and skipped stones across the lake. Every time a stone skipped more than twice, they cheered like kids. It wasn't about the place, it was about remembering what it meant to belong to one another. The rainstorm. Late in the afternoon, dark clouds rolled in without warning. The rain came heavy and wild. They ran back to the cottage, soaked and breathless, laughing until their stomachs hurt. Inside, Amelia lit candles while Jamie wrapped towels around the girls like capes. "Superheroes of the storm," Alberta shouted. The power went out. The cottage glowed in candlelight. They played cards by the fire, told ghost stories, and sang songs Amelia made up on the spot. When the girls finally fell asleep on the couch, Jamie sat beside Amelia in the flickering light. Do you ever wonder how we got here? He asked. Maybe we needed to break a little to rebuild stronger, she said. He brushed a wet strand of hair from her face. Then this time, he whispered, we build it right. The letter box. The next morning, as they walked through the village, they found an old red letter box by the road. Someone had painted a sign over it, for messages to the future. Amelia laughed. Maybe we should write one. They bought postcards from a tiny shop nearby. Each family member wrote something they wanted to remember forever. Dulcie wrote, I want us to keep doing this every year. Elva wrote, I love when Dad makes pancakes, even when they burn. Alberta drew a stick family holding hands under a giant heart. Jamie hesitated, then wrote, to Futurists, don't forget that love is made of moments like this, quiet, ordinary, and real. Amelia's card said, we are not perfect, we are enough. They mailed them all together. As the letters slid inside, it felt like sealing a promise to their future selves. The bridge. There was a small wooden bridge that crossed the stream behind the cottage. On their last evening, they walked there together. The air smelled of rain and pine needles. Jamie leaned on the railing, watching the current. You know, he said, it's funny how water always finds its way through. No matter how many rocks are in the way. Amelia looked at him. Maybe that's what love is, it bends, but it doesn't stop. He smiled, eyes soft. So, what do you say we keep flowing? She reached for his hand. Always. Behind them, the girls threw pebbles into the water, each one a small echo of joy. The last night. They decided to stay up late, no clocks, no rules. Amelia played guitar, Jamie hummed along. The girls danced around the fire pit with sparklers, their laughter drifting into the night like little constellations. When the last spark died, Amelia whispered, I wish we could freeze this moment. Jamie shook his head gently. No, let it move, that's how we keep it alive. She nodded, resting her head on his shoulder. Then let's make more moments like this. And for the first time in a long while, it didn't feel like a wish, it felt like a plan. Returning home. They returned to London quietly transformed. The house no longer seemed so heavy. They began eating dinner together again, even if it was just soup and laughter. Jamie turned off her phone during breakfast. Amelia wrote softer, more honest songs. The two girls hung a photo from the trip above the fireplace. No posing, just the five of them in the sunlight, smiling without thinking. Every morning, a note Dulcie had written months earlier was pinned to the fridge. Can we have a weekend where everyone smiles again? Now the answer was simple, they could, and they did. What it means to be together. Months later, Jamie found the mailbox again while filming nearby. He sent another postcard home. Still choosing us. Always. When she received it, Amelia smiled and tucked it behind the framed photo from the trip. That night, after the girls had fallen asleep, she turned to Jamie. You know what I learned? What do you mean? Love doesn't need flashy gestures. It just needs people who don't give up on each other. Jamie smiled, kissing her forehead. Then we're doing it right. They turned off the lights, holding hands as the city hummed outside. And somewhere deep in that idyllic night, their love, healed, solid, and perfectly perfect, shined brighter than any star. What binds us? Years from now, when their daughters are grown, they won't remember the trips or the gifts, but the feeling. The rain on the roof, the laughter around the fire, the two parents who learned that love isn't a given. It's a choice we have to make every day. Because in the end, the strongest bond isn't built in perfect moments. It's built in the gentle, unspoken promise that even after all the storms, we will always find our way back to each other.